Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Hamzah Sheeraz becomes the WBC silver middleweight champion, whatever that is. The silver medal, maybe? I don't know. I've given up thinking about these god-awful titles. But anyway, the one positive about that title is that it gets him ranked in the WBC's rankings. Top 15, I think it is. And he beat Francisco Emmanuel Torres, who was a good quality Argentinian fighter. His previous fight, Torres, he'd drawn with Jose Benavidez Jr. A majority draw over 10 rounds. So the guy can fight a bit. And he came in with a 17-3-1 record. He did have one early knockout defeat back in 2017, but he's been pretty durable since then and has actually won a lot of fights since that 2-round knockout. I think he won about 10, 12 fights in a row. So he had some form, and he came in to fight Sheeraz. Sheeraz is 6'3" and has only just moved up to middleweight, which is pretty amazing, really. How he made light, middle, super welterweight, whatever you want to call it, is it's a bit of a bit of a mystery, bit of a conundrum. But he's now at middleweight, looking the part. Clearly got heavy hands, not an ounce of fat on him at middleweight. He's only 23, so he's growing into these weights. He was actually, I think, the board's young boxer of the year, or the writers' boxer of the year, or something, a young boxer of the year. And you can see why. The guy's got talent. He's tall, very tall, obviously, huge for the weight, good skills, uses his range well. But against Torres, although he won comfortably, that's to put it mildly, there were one or two little moments where he, there's still work to be done, let's put it that way. Because he came out in the first round and it instantly looked like Francisco Torres didn't have a clue how to handle someone of that height, of those dimensions. He was trying to feint, wasn't sure whether he should be up close or on the outside, and if so, how far back is the outside? Because, how do you fight someone who's that tall, with arms that long? He looked like he was sort of stuck between styles somewhat, and I gave Sheeraz the first round. Not much happened, but in the second round, Sheeraz did shake Torres quite badly, and weirdly enough, it was with a jab, a ramrod jab. He did land he landed a hook, was it? And then the jab, and he's an orthodox fighter, so the jab came off the left hand, and it really shook Torres, who sort of staggered back into the ropes. Sheeraz went after him, but the Argentinian guy survived. Now, in the third round, that was an interesting round, because in the first 15 seconds, Torres was on the floor. And again, it was from a ramrod jab. Okay. So, you're thinking, Sheeraz has got some power here. Maybe moving up increased his power, moving up to middleweight. But here's the bit where he's got to learn his lesson. Torres got up, took the 8 count, he sort of moved back, I think, voluntarily. Maybe he was forced back into, near one of the corners. Sheeraz went in for the kill. The Argentinian fired, I think it was a left and then an overhand right, caught Sheeraz bang on the jaw and put him on one knee. And Sheeraz wasn't hurt any more than Torres had been hurt from that knockdown, from the knockdown at the start of the second, was it the second round? Yeah. So all this was getting a bit crazy now, Up he gets, Sheeraz, no problem, not hurt. And they go back at it again. And then Torres finds himself with his back to the ropes. Sheeraz lands a thunderous right cross, smacks onto Torres' head. Down goes Torres again. So it's 2-1 to knockdowns to Sheeraz in this round. It was the third round, actually. Sorry, not the second round. This all happened in the third round. But Torres gets up and survives the round. So that's, what do you make that? A 10-8 round for Sheeraz? Yeah, I thought he's won all 3 of the opening 3 rounds. I had him 4 points up. In the fourth round, again, Torres actually had a little bit more success in that round. I don't think he won the round, but he was able to sort of contain Sheeraz a little bit. He was still on the defensive, still a little bit reticent, a little bit cautious about where he was going, what he was doing. You know, he was landing some pretty decent punches in little spurts, in little 5-second spurts. But it always, at no point was Sheeraz in any real trouble. And to be honest with you, the writing was on the wall. And sure enough, towards the end of the 5th round, there was a big right cross, which put Torres down. Clearly he was hurt more than he'd been hurt by any of the previous 2 knockdowns. You kind of knew the fight was over then, because Torres was sitting by the ropes. The referee was counting him. He got up, did not look good, looked very, very shaky. And that's all she wrote, really. The referee said, no, it's all over. And Torres didn't complain. So it was a good win for Sheeraz against a decent opponent. You know, not a bad opponent at all. For a 23-year-old to, you know, get onto the big stage. It's the first time he's headlined a show. It was on BT Sports. He's promoted by Queensberry, by Frank Warren. It was a good performance. But, you know, no hurry. 23 years old. Don't hurry the kid. You know, get him some domestic level fights maybe at middleweight. And yeah, I like what I saw. He's good. Did you see the fight? It wasn't a bad show, actually, this BT show. They've had some real duds in the past, but this wasn't a bad show. And this headline act wasn't too bad at all. So let me know what you think. If you did see this fight, what do you think about Sheeraz? How far can he go? British title, Commonwealth, European level? What's the hurry? I hope he's not hurried. I know this WBC trinket got him a title. It got him a ranking, rather, but we don't need to hurry these young prospects. Let them develop. Let them get their man strength. Let them learn the trade in the gym in incremental steps. I'm always saying this, but it's true. And he is promoted by Warren, who tends to sort of favour that sort of route, which is good. But what did you think? Leave your comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Hit the like button, that helps the channel. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, takes a second. Always appreciated. Thanks very much. And we got some boxing from America coming up, which I'm probably going to cover. But yeah, for the time being, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Much love as always.